Ladies and gentlemen, if you're regulars around here on the channel, you know as well as anyone, over here on Hoops Digest, I like to bring up the stuff that the mainstream NBA media doesn't really like to talk about, or at least doesn't talk about as much as they should. And to those of you that have joined the Hoops Digest family so far this NBA season, you know that we have made a ton of different videos so far that have fit this criteria. But you guys, and I'm being completely honest with what I'm about to say, I might not have ever seen an accomplishment by a specific team go as criminally unnoticed as the one we're discussing in today's video, which, if you haven't guessed it yet, is the historic run the Phoenix Suns are making right now, just a quarter of the way into this year. And if you somehow haven't heard of this yet, boy do we have a lot to catch you up on, so let's get right into this video. One sec, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those noties to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for real, if any of you guys are regulars around here and you haven't hit the button yet, I truly don't know what you're doing, because according to my numbers, around 96% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So for any of you that do, whether you're new or a regular, believe me, I appreciate it more than anything. Thank you so much. But anyway, let's get back to the Phoenix Suns. And to start this discussion, I think I'm just going to jog the memory of what most of the headlines for this Phoenix Suns team were to begin the year. Because for any of you that don't remember, if it wasn't bad enough that this team started to a very unimpressive 1-3 start, their entire organization was then swallowed up into a league-wide investigation, which, if I'm being honest, most of you probably heard of, so I'm going to leave that right there. But either way, with these two dimming factors we just listed off, you know people were rushing all over from NBA Twitter to call the Phoenix Suns frauds, flukes, one-hit wonders, pretty much anything you can think of. If these were the last headlines that you saw about the Phoenix Suns, let me be the first person to tell you that you are missing out on something absolutely incredible. Because since this point in time, the Phoenix Suns have been able to go on a 16 game winning streak, which is tied for the 24th longest win streak in NBA history. And on top of this, they are one game away from tying their franchise record. And one of the craziest parts about this historic win streak is the fact that the Phoenix Suns have gone through a majority of the games in this span without their third star big man in Deandre Ayton. To even further point out the ridiculous level of basketball the Phoenix Suns are playing at right now, let's take a look into where this team ranks best in certain statistics. Because as of right now, just to name a few, the Phoenix Suns currently rank 5th overall in points per game, 3rd overall in assists, tied for 1st in the entire league in overall field goal percentage, and last but certainly not least, having the 3rd best net rating across the entire board. And just remember, the fact that they have been able to put up these numbers in 16 games over a 30-day span and not lose a single one. Now, I might be pushing boundaries when I say this, but I think there could be some serious consideration that this Phoenix Suns team could be or become the best team this franchise has ever seen. And again, I know this might be a push to say, and I'm not trying to get into a player-to-player comparison, but when you take a look at the numbers, some of you might know that the best Phoenix Suns team in terms of overall record in franchise history was the 2005 team, who finished with a 62-20 overall record. And I know it's obviously not guaranteed, but if the Phoenix Suns were to finish this season at the pace they've started it off, they would finish with an astounding 70-12 record when the season is all said and done. And I know that's probably a long shot, but the reason as to why I think the Phoenix Suns have any opportunity to hit that final record is the fact that we have seen this team pull out wins in so many different ways throughout this historic streak. And also, if you've been watching this Phoenix Suns team, I think it's been very obvious that the load on the shoulders of some of the top stars on this team has been much less this year compared to last. And undoubtedly, one of the concrete examples of this is the aging Hall of Fame point guard Chris Paul. Because if you didn't know, he has been putting up similar averages this year of around 14.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 10 assists per game, which I also do want to point out he is currently leading the entire NBA in assists per game. But nonetheless, to an average NBA fan, these numbers might not seem like anything crazy or anything different about Chris Paul's game. The kick about this is that CP3 has been able to put up just as efficient numbers this season, while, believe it or not, being more uninvolved in the game than he ever has in his entire career. And I can back this up by using Chris Paul's current usage rate of 19.9%, which again is the lowest of his career. And don't get me wrong, the numbers show red on the screen, but believe me, this isn't a bad thing, because the more the Phoenix Suns keep this up, hopefully means the more ready and locked in CP3 will be come playoff time for this Phoenix Suns team. And then I'm sure you all were expecting this, but we gotta cover the outright leader of this this team to none other than Devin Booker, because again, kind of similar to what we're seeing in Chris Paul, Devin Booker is putting up averages of 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on 33 minutes per game. However, I think most of you will be surprised when I tell you that his points per game and his minutes per game are the lowest we've seen since his rookie season. And even with D-Book's numbers not necessarily standing out or being anything crazy, it is clear to so many people that he just continues to make these strides every single year to be the best player he can possibly be. And this year, undoubtedly, his biggest stride so far has been his ability to improve from behind the three-point line. Because another thing you might be surprised to hear is that Devin Booker has improved to his highest three-point percentage so far this season, while also taking a jump to the most attempts he has taken per game in a season, which is now sitting at just over 6. So with what I can say is the bigger disperse of contribution for this Phoenix Suns team, some people are probably still wondering where the holes are being filled and why this Suns team is still this good. Well, if I'm being real with you, it has quite literally been the rest of the rotation from top to bottom that has stepped up drastically for this team. And a big part that I want to give credit in specific to has been the core coming off of the bench for this team. Because with a top 4 coming off of the bench and players such as Cameron Payne, JaVale McGee, Landry Shamet, and Cam Johnson, the ability of Monty Williams to implement these players into so many different rotations that have seemed to work perfect for the most part is pretty insane. Of course, a big source to that is obviously the run that we're seeing. But one man in particular that has contributed more than anybody probably could have imagined is none other than JaVale McGee. And I'm not just saying it's been a good signing for the Phoenix Suns, but this might be the best fit for JaVale McGee that we have seen in over a decade. Because just for reference right now, JaVale McGee is averaging around 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 66% shooting from the field. If you didn't know, this is his highest point per game average we have seen since 2011, and also this is the highest field goal percentage we have seen from JaVale in his entire career. And believe me, you guys, his contributions aren't just showing in personal numbers. Because in fact, out of the Phoenix Suns' 7 most frequently ran rotations out on the court so far this year, JaVale McGee is playing in 3 of their 5 most effective rotations. And I think to most people it was more obvious than ever before after last season that adding an established big man off the bench was going to help this team so much in regards to winning a championship. But again, JaVale McGee's fit has been better than relatively anyone could have guessed. But enough from me, you guys. I know there is so much more to go into about this Phoenix Suns team and what they have done so far this year. But now we're into my favorite part of the video, and this is hearing what you guys have to think about the situation. So please let me know in the comments what else about this Phoenix Suns team that I haven't mentioned yet has impressed you so much into the year. Also, you might as well let me know what you think their projected record will be at the end of the 2022 season. Again though, you guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. I really can't say it enough, you guys. We're coming out with brand new NBA videos on a daily basis around here. You do not want to miss what we got coming in the near future. But on that note, I just wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate y'all more than anything in the entire world. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.